Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll show you how to create CCTV Headquarters building in Revit, located in Beijing, China. Let's get started. To start, let's open a new architecture template. Go to South Elevation. And then here, let's add in the elevation image. Click on the levels. I'm just gonna drag this because once we scale the picture, it will be unnoticeable. So I'm just dragging this, something like that. Next, click on the image, and then we're just gonna move this from the ground, which is here, to this ground level. And then, as you can see, the top level is around 234 meters. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna scale this. So I'm gonna click scale. So I'm gonna click from the bottom to the top, which is right here, and then just type in 234 millimeters. Then again, we still need to move the levels again. It wasn't enough the first time, so I'm just gonna click this and then move it. So once you're happy, we can select level 2 and then click on copy and then multiple. I'm gonna fix the level 2 to 46.45 meters later. So for now, let's go to level 3, which I'm gonna put at 161 meters. Level 4 to 13 meters. And then at the top is level 5. So after I put that, I'm gonna fix level 2. So I'm gonna zoom in and then put 4645 millimeters. So as you can see, it's exactly where it is. This one looks like we did it correctly. And then this one, I'm good with this. And lastly, so I'm just gonna change the scale so that we could see the levels better. And I'm just gonna move this a little bit more. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our site plan, and then I'm gonna put in the plan image around in the center. So as you notice from our south elevation, the orientation is not correct. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rotate this, and then we're gonna check if this is correct. If you imagine the L base is in this corner and the top base is right here. Similar to this will be the L base and the top. So now, before we scale it, we need to put a reference plane on our south. So let's go to south and then architecture and click on reference plane. We're gonna add one right here and then another one right about here. I'm just gonna select that and move it a little bit. And then once we go back to our site, we're gonna see those two lines. So I'm gonna move it up. I'm gonna change this to 500 and I'm gonna move this up like that. So once that's done, we can nudge this somewhere here. So the first one is done, and then we're gonna do the second and scale this. So click on scale from this point to this point, and then click on the second reference plane. So once you're done, you can nudge this upwards and then fix all of the elevation by clicking and then dragging it. So now we can start creating the mass. Go to Massing Inside, click In Place Mass, and leave it at Mass 1, or you can change the name. So I'm gonna click OK, and then click on Rectangle. Make sure it's level 1, and then you need to click on this edge to this edge right here, and then just estimate it like that. Also, we need to know the top. So we have to go back to our south elevation. And then from here, we just need to create or add in a reference plane. So just go to modify and then click RP or reference plane. And then we just need to add a reference plane like this all the way down. And then with this corner as well. And then just go back to the site again. We can see the reference plane that we created. Now what we have to do is you need to click this reference plane and click draw axis mirror, and we're gonna mirror it 45 degrees like that, and then click this reference plane again and then click on the mirror command and then 45 degrees again. The purpose of that is so that we could find out the top geometry of this building. So now we could start adding the top. So click on rectangle and change this to level 5 from this point to this point. It's showing a warning. That's because of the default view range. So what we can do is we can change the view range by going, let's go to 3D view first. And then what we could do is we could go back to site and then just click this and then go to floor plan site. Scroll down, look for view range, and then click edit and just change this to 250M and another with the cut plane 250M and then enter. And then as you can see, it's showing the geometry now. Let's go to 3D view and select both of this and then click create form, solid form. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our site and we're gonna create the voids. But before that, let's change this to wireframe again so that we could see the plan and zoom it a little bit. So here, let's add in the rectangular again. Click that one. Make sure you're on level 1. And then from this point, and then you should hit both of this point. So I'm just gonna estimate this something like that. And then we could add another rectangle, but this one will be on level 3. So now let's add in from this endpoint to this both ends. So I'm just going to estimate it something like this. So now that we have that, let's go to 3D view and then let's select both of this geometry and then create form. First, let's go to solid form. It's because it's easier to edit in solid form rather than doing it on a void form automatically. So here, as you can see, if we select this plane, you can instantly change the forms. So I'm just going to undo that and then select all of this again. And instead of the solid, we're going to choose void and then apply. Once you do that, you will see the void form on this mass. So lastly, let's go back to our site and we're gonna do the void for the last corner. So click rectangle and let's set this to level 2 and we want this to be all the way. So we want this endpoint to this endpoint to be touching. just like that. And then let's go to level 5 and then another rectangle. So to this point up to the end. Let's go to 3D, and then in 3D select both of this rectangle or square, and then create a solid form. And then after this, once you're happy with, and then just click on the whole form and change this to void. Press escape and we have our form like this. So next, we're gonna select the faces by clicking on the tab, and by selecting that, we have to click on the divide surface and then change this to, let's try 20 first for the U and the V grid. Click apply. So we can actually put more. So 40. And then do it on the other faces as well. Divide and then change to 40. And then click on the pattern rectangle. So after you change the pattern and the number of U and V grids, next go to File, go to Family, and look for Metric Curtain Panel Pattern Base, and then press Open. Select the grid, make sure you're in rectangle, and then after this, let's create the frame. So before that, add a point element on one of this. Press Escape, click that point element, and then let's add in the rectangle. Something like this. And then after that, press Escape and select the chain of walls, all lines, and select also this rectangle that we created by holding on Control button. And then after that, select this and click on Solid Form. What we can do is press Escape and select all of this. This will be our frame. So click Family Types and select New Parameter. Change this to Material and then to an instant. This will be Frame. Press OK. And then let's create another one. This will be the glass. And then change this to instance. Press OK and then apply. So now we selected this and choose the frame. And then after that, go to wireframe and we're going to select the chain of walls or lines. So once that's selected, create a form again, solid form, and then choose this option. Bring it down a little bit, or we could just put a positive offset of 0.5. Or we could just manually create the form. So once you selected the glass, go to materials, click this, and associate that with the glass. After that, let's go to family types, and I'm just gonna change this materials. I'm gonna put aluminum for now. And then glass. Click apply, and then load it to the project. Let's go to 3D view, and then once we're there, just select the face. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select them like this, and then divided surface, and then scroll down and choose this family one. It will load. So once it's done, it will look like this. And then you just need to click finish. So once it's done, it will look like this. Thank you for watching and I hope you liked the video. Please hit like and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below.